welcome to another episode of The Nonsense Review. I am your host, as always, Devon, and joining me, equally as always, is Rick.
Hello, hello.
And if you've never watched the podcast before, or listened to the podcast before, we are available on Anchor. What we like to do before we start the bulk of the review is just briefly discuss and touch upon our weeks. So, to that end, Rick, what the fuck have you been up to?
A little thing that's happened with me and my folks. We've started watching Iron Fist.
Interesting. Possibly the worst of the Netflix series is, but go on.
Basically, my folks had it recommended to them either by a person or Netflix itself, and I got a call at like 11 p.m. In fact, I think it was actually the night that we were playing Dark Souls, and we stopped at a reasonable time, and I got a phone call after that saying, "Do you want to come and watch some Marvel?" So I did. And they went, "Oh, sorry, it's a series, not a film. We'll watch a bit of it, and if it's crap, we'll drop it." And we're 2 episodes in now. There's another thing that happened. Pokemon released their MOBA.
Yeah, I downloaded that yesterday. I've still not touched it, but it's on my Switch, so...
Ditto. The interaction I've had with it is I've watched Watson go through the tutorial, and that's about it.
Do you want to elaborate on her name?
Amelia Watson.
And she will ground pound your mother.
She will.
Oh, I've said this so many times off the podcast, but she's such a toxic little shit.
She is. And it's great. Like it's really nice to have someone who is that and unabashedly is that and doesn't put on airs and pretend to be anything other than a toxic little shit.
I get what you're saying, but for the love of Christ, if that was someone over PSN or Xbox Live, I'd be like, I want to track down this person and murder them.
If it was a bloke, I'd unsubscribe.
I feel like that, you see, that's where she's kind of lucky, isn't it? Because there's like a dozen and more male YouTubers who have that exact personality for their persona on the channel, and they suck.
Yeah, they appeal very much to teenage and preteen boys that want to see people get mad at the person that's getting mad. But yeah, it's interesting, fun, and endearing when it's a cute anime girl doing the same thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Actually, Rick, you've probably forgotten, but you mentioned earlier in the week that you wanted to speak about Hachima.
Oh yeah, Hachima's back. She's picked up the torch from Coco in the meme review. There was like a little heartfelt thing between Coco, Kanata, and Hachima, where Kanako went to see Hachima off screen while she was still on hiatus, and convinced her to come back, and now she's back, and all is right with the world.
Yeah, I just thought I'd prod you on that, because I remember you seeming to be quite eager to discuss it for some reason earlier in the week, and you know me, I don't follow VTubers at the best of times, I mostly watch clips.
Yeah, I brought it up with you because it was something that made me happy over the weekend, so...
I think my exact response was, I don't give a shit, but I'm glad you're happy.
Pretty much. So yeah, we're back to having a meme review, maybe not every week, it's a slightly different format for now. When Coco did it, she normally had a guest, but Hachima was basically doing it on her own. More or less learning meme culture as she went, rather than, translating it for the Japanese fans.
That's a difficult culture to understand, even if you speak the native tongue. Why are we talking about horse dongs this week? Don't ask, just roll with it. We'll move on to something more normal next week, I swear.
Right, so let's. I'll draw a line under mine and move on to yours.
My week's been interesting, I suppose. I've restarted playing a game.
Did you now?
None other than Genshin Impact.
Okay.
I've not started from the beginning because fuck that. That game's fun.
Yeah, it is. I remember when it was new, I was incredibly impressed with the amount of effort that went into essentially a free game.
It is one. The biggest drawback is the fact that at the end of the day, it is a gacha game, and the way it gets its money is to prey on the mentally ill. That's the biggest drawback, and it's quite a big drawback, and I can totally understand anyone taking that stance for not wanting to play it. But if you can ignore that, it's a very fun game. And to the game's credit, you don't need to have every single character. Every single character in that game, so far, to my knowledge, is a viable character. And they give you Null for free, who is a must-have.
Yeah, the free characters are incredibly good in terms of their diversity. I'd say that even Amber, the first freebie character that you get, the Fire Archer, is an incredibly good addition to your roster early on because she does 2 very good things, fire and archery.
Dude, the thing I love is there are a lot of, those sort of tool small activation things that require certain elements to light them.
Yeah.
If you do a fire one, 9 times out of 10 you have to light all of them in quick succession, and Amber is one of the few pyro characters I know of who can do that very well, because, as you pointed out, every archer character has a powered shot move which used a shot with the element, which makes it dead easy because you don't have a recharge time. Like, I've been using my pyro character for the most part as being Xingling, or Xinglang, I'm sorry, I might be butchering the name, but she's the chef lady with the spear, and the way she does her pyro is her super move or her regular special attack, which is putting out a little bunny rabbit thing that breathes fire on things that you can't really control the direction of. So she's a bit shit for activating multiple pyro lamps.
So yeah, good old Amber for doing the little puzzles, even though she's a bit shit in normal gameplay.
She is, but again, because she has that ignite on her strong attack, it's really easy to inflict enemies with pyro, which sets up combos quite nice. Especially seeing as you get Kaya as well, so you can really easily set up the melt mechanic.
Kaya's also really good just for getting around. You just freeze a lake and walk across it.
I kind of get you, but like, no character is good for mobility for me, because one of the reasons why I stuck with Genshin in the first place is I got lucky on the gacha, and with my free roll, I got Venti.
Ah, yes.
And that dude makes traversal a fucking piss easy. Of course, they did introduce, after I stopped playing, this reputation system, and if you get max rank with Mondstadt, or near max rank, they give you a gadget that mimics the exact same ability of Venti's, and that is you can just make a tornado wind appear on the field and use it to glide yourself.
That's actually really useful, because like it stops a certain degree of mobility being paywalled behind the gacha.
Well, I had this discussion with Chris way back when we first played the damn game, and that was, it just makes things easier. It doesn't, you can get everything in the game via normal traversal. It's just if you had Venti, you could skip a few puzzles. And in fact, when they released that little gadget that I'm talking about, Chris even had a bit of a moan, bless him, saying, oh, well, that makes Venti useless. And I'm like, wow, do you not use Venti Super? Because that thing's busted. But anyway, that's more or less what I've been doing all week, is playing Genshin Impact and trying to catch up to the story so I can do the current events. Oh, they also introduced housing.
Oh, I've not heard about that.
Yeah, once you beat a certain chapter in the story, you get given a magical teapot that contains an island of your choosing. They've got 3 aesthetics, and you can build housing and furniture and shit, and furnish your own little island. So whenever a game introduces that sort of shit, I am in.
I kind of wish there was a face cam on right now, because my eyes are just doing weird things trying to pass the magical teapot.
It's a fucking thing. They established that magical teapots exist about 2 quests before you get your own magical teapot as well.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I could talk about Genshin for the rest of the day if I wanted to, but we have more important things to discuss. So to that end, Rick, what are we doing today?
We are diving into the end of our little mini abridged series on Steven Universe. We're coming to the close of Season 1, and we're doing the last 2 episodes of Season 1, which are the next appearances of the characters that we've been keeping up with in our previous episodes, and also the first appearance of another one. We're doing Episode 51, The Return, and Episode 52, Jailbreak. And for people watching along with us, Episode 51, in 3, 2, 1, and go.
It's been too long since I've watched this goddamn theme. Because even when we did Steven Universe last time, we,
Yeah, it was 2 part 2s, yeah.
So we missed out on the theme, which was like, oh, okay. I jumped the gun. I was about to say the fucking names, but I said it too early, and now I look like the fool.
Also, I think this is the last time you hear the old theme, because beginning with Season 2, they've got a new version of the theme. They say the same things, but they sing it differently.
I get you. That's quite a lot of trust to put in a teenager.
Yeah.
And Greg's even saying the same
Greg's
thing.
just breezing it up. Yeah. But yeah, it is just like a beachfront town. I don't think there's many criminals here.
I need to turn my sound up on the episode because there's no subtitles. There we go. I do appreciate when Greg gets moments of being allowed to be a dad.
Yeah, it's kind of sweet. And also, you know, it's one of those few things that are, but also, you know, relatable as a human. Oh, the Finger of Doom!
Everything's going at a bit of mile a minute right now.
Yeah, Lapis said she'd be back. And it's a Sky Finger.
That's That's dumb. I'll just say it.
Rose quartz is super bongs.
Is that literally, seriously, the activation phrase?
So it would seem.
It's kind of cool. What a limp fart of an attack.
Yeah. The evil finger just goes nope.
I love how that's the photo for him.
Yeah. That's a good joke.
That's a fucking top tier joke. That's a bad slogan because you only need to change one letter. Could you imagine him going through the town just going, ejaculate? I love how his grand plan to evacuate the town is to, first things first, let's gather everyone in one place first, in the middle of the town. And if they don't believe me, they're fucked.
Yep. just Amethyst passing the buck.
No, that's not entirely fair, because Greg and Pearl passed it to her first.
Yeah.
Man, that fucking dude in the background taking a picture on his fucking phone, it's just like, yeah, that's too real.
Yeah, that's Ronaldo. He's a pain in the dick.
Oh, good. He looks like a dickhead. And he smells like one too.
He's got a little website where he's got all these conspiracy theories that he puts up, and they're all true.
That's always one of my favourite archetypes of a sub character, though.
Yeah, when they're a conspiracy theorist, but they're all true. But he doesn't know why they're true. So like it'll show up like evidence of like weird gem shit that's going on, but he doesn't know why it's weird.
Yeah, I get you. Well, there's a fucking Freudian slip, eh? Could you imagine? Was he? I don't understand.
No, I wasn't.
Right, cool. Because the way he said that made it sound like he might have been.
No, he's heard the stories as an adult.
Right.
And he knows the.
Are they going to lay eggs in your chest?
Oh, that's like the fucking Amigara fault.
I'll be honest with you, that visual was very unsettling.
It was meant to be.
That's a good line.
That is a good line.
I also don't think people probably give that sort of talk as much credence as they should.
The sad eyes are well timed.
Indeed. I'll be honest with you, the sad looks on the Crystal Gem's faces when he was going was quite heart-wrenching, but we were discussing something else at the time.
Yeah. Also, Greg's got a really good point of Stephen going, the gems need me, and Greg just going, I need you too.
Yeah, that was all very serious, but that's too funny to ignore.
Yeah. He just bubbled himself while he got ejected by a by the airbag that he just punched out of the dashboard.
Also, it's very sweet how all the townspeople's first thought was, hey, is the kid okay? Instead of, yo, what the fuck, why are you stopping?
Yeah. It's a good look for the townsfolk.
It is. I forgot this thing fucking existed.
Most people do.
Pick up, you little bastard.
Yeah, it's ringing Connie.
Wait, hang on. Isn't Connie also a town member?
Yeah, so she should be on the convoy to evacuate already.
Yeah, and he should know that. Boy, that line's bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a fucking cool design, though.
Yeah, that's Amethyst and Pearl.
I'll be honest with you, kind of guessed considering Garnet was next to her.
Yeah. It's one of the most unstable fusions that they have in the Crystal Gems because Amethyst and Pearl are the ones that argue the most.
To be fair, they do have, like, from what I have seen, they do have polar opposite
Yep.
Fucking personalities. I almost said genders, and I knew that was wrong. Oh, dude, I was really, really expecting it to flip the bird. Very good, displaying of emotions. But that was such a nothing sentence. Why don't you even say it?
Paradox come and brought Mum.
I didn't realise Jasper had a goddamn wrestler's outfit.
Yes, she does.
Now, one thing I do know about Jasper is the whole reason she hates this lot is because she thinks Rose Quartz killed Pink Diamond and not that Rose Quartz is Pink Diamond, correct?
Correct, absolutely. And it's not even revealed until, like, way late into, like, Season 5.
I don't know where I picked that information up from, because I've definitely not seen anything from that season.
Yeah, it's just internet. And she also doesn't like Garnet for being an abomination fusion between different gems. Finger guns.
Pew 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 pew. It's really, I want to say difficult to watch because I know at some point Peridot becomes a lovable little goofball.
It's nice seeing a dispassionate Peridot being a villain as well.
Also, the little nods we've got to the relationship between Jasper and Lapis already really makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Look at that Velafor shit!
Go, my tech expert, do the thing.
Boy, that helmet's dumb!
Yeah, it is. Hammer hat.
Well, that fight was disappointingly short.
Well, there's a reason for that. It's because it's near the end of the episode.
No, I can see that, but you know, if I recall correctly, I think I might have seen episode 52.
Maybe so.
Because I don't know if it happens during it, but I've seen the episode where Steven's on Jasper's ship and he finds Sapphire and Ruby, and he doesn't know who they are.
That's literally the next thing that's going to happen.
Okay, so weirdly enough, I've probably already seen it. At least part the important parts of it. That was quite the villainous monologue.
You have failed and then a headbutt.
Dude, there is nothing worse than a fucking... I don't know if you've ever been headbutted, but it fucking sucks.
It does.
Oh, you probably have been headbutted. You used to do rugby, right?
Yeah, I also went to a boys' school.
I was going to make such an inappropriate joke, but I'm like, we're recording, I can't.
Yeah. I actually did pretty well to not get in many fights, but yeah, I went to a boys' school.
I'd rather not talk about school. It's long past. You know, it's long in the past. I'd rather not relive such shit times in my life.
It's been over for longer than it lasted.
Not quite true for me yet, but
I mean, you weren't at school when you were 0.
You're technically correct, but 16. Like, I'm not 32 yet.
Sure. Well, if you discount the time off that you had during holidays, you're probably about breaking even.
You're getting into technical shit, you fucking prick. Anyway, I've lined up the next episode. Do you want to count us into Jailbreak?
Yep. Episode 52, Jailbreak. 3, 2, 1, and go.
So does this continue literally right from the headbutt, does it?
Yeah. So if you were watching it live on Cartoon Network, there would literally have just been commercial break and then straight into this.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you, it's quite uncomfortable seeing Stephen with a black eye.
Yeah, he's got a shiner.
I have seen this. I've seen at least the first half of it, because I think once he gets to Sapphire, I had to go and do something, and when I came back, the episode was over. Well, that's a shit fucking prison cell, isn't it?
So here's the thing, it's meant to, it's just for gems.
Right, and he's only half gem.
Mm.
Right, I get it.
If you're a gem, it, like, destabilizes your, Oh, hello.
Dude, Ruby looks so much like OKKO. Don't she, though?
Yeah, she does.
I think I've said it more times than I care to admit right now, but this is incredibly uncomfortable to watch. I don't like seeing characters in distress.
Yeah, it works on gems.
I was genuinely expecting it to go, ah, fuck!
Yeah, they had to reanimate this entire episode because the voice actor was so animated that they just wanted to copy her.
That is awesome.
It's really good.
I mean, it's kind of like Shrek, although granted Shrek was a bit more in depth, but you know. I do like how when you see these two characters as individual gems, you can see the different elements of Garnet's personality and why she acts the way she does.
And also different elements of her design as well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's kind of like the lips and lower half. The lower half of the face and upper half of the face is where you really see it from each respective character.
Yeah. And the fact that there's 3 eyes between the 2 of them.
Indeed, yeah. You see, Lapis is doing this from a place of concern and caring, but it's also a horrible thing to ask your friend to do.
She's also in a weird place of, like, kind of self-preservation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's sort of a caring act, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm not being very eloquent right now. I get that, but you know.
Yeah, she's in a weird position where she's counting Steven as kind of her ally, even though she knows he's a crystal gem.
Yeah.
She's not internalizing him as a crystal gem the way that she internalizes the other ones that shattered her. Or cracked her, at least. This is the first time we see Jasper with her actual colour scheme rather than just washed out with green.
Yeah. See, I fucking hate Jasper's personality, but her design is right up my alley. If you get me. It does. I do like how it fries his brain just a little bit.
Gives him the brain tingles.
Maybe don't be so fucking loud when you're escaping.
They can't help it.
I know, and it's kind of adorable in its own way, but it irks me.
Yeah, that's pretty much their.
Oh, that's fucking precious. Oh my days! I'm not used to seeing Garnet smile so much.
Yeah, it's really wholesome.
Ah, so a third eye is a combo of both colours, I just realised.
Yeah. Oh, that's also really sweet.
It is. Boy, they looked real depressed.
Yeah.
Has she always had that skill? Or is this the first time it's shown?
Well, she's got the future vision, but I think that's the first time she's kissed someone a vision.
Man, I'm getting those Count Dooku vibes where Count Dooku fucking hates people who use two sabers because it's the quickest and cheapest way to make yourself stronger.
Yeah. He hates double sabers and twin sabers. Estelle busting out her singing chops.
Dude, I'm really digging it. I've heard this song before.
Yeah.
I've heard this song parodied by the Undertale fandom.
Yep. It's a very easy song to parody for a lot of different things.
Oh my days, it's really catchy.
Yeah, she's made of love.
Oh, that's fucking cool. I love one-on-one fights.
Well, except as Garnet says, it's 1-on-2.
Yeah, I know. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
I also like how Peridot's a fucking pushover.
Oh, that's a cool visual. Just
it is.
Pearl just getting overloaded with data.
Yo,
Sonic spin.
As an aside, something I've learned from Twitter, because again, we follow a bunch of fucking fan artists on there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who, for some reason, just don't. They don't like Steven Universe so much. They actively hate it, and they never tend to give a reason why. And it's a bit confusing because again, all the people I follow like Steven Universe, so I'm not getting the perspective. So have you got anything like to shed on that?
I think the only thing I can think of is people that really hate the California arts style. Yeah, Sonic Spinner Dash again.
It's not that. If anything, I think it adds to the charm.
Yeah, but there's so many things that have been released recently that just have the same kind of style, and it just looks so homogeneous to a degree. But also, you know, it's got its own charm.
But I'm just saying specifically for this show, I think it works in its favour. My god, that song was awesome and that fight scene was awesome. Sorry to get distracted by talking about haters. Oh my days, does that not fucking tug at the heartstrings?
It does. Peridot got flicked off, but Lapis just gets stuck in there. And then the whole thing blows up.
Every time this line shows up, I'm just annoyed by its existence. Aww. That's such a child reaction, I love it. My god, in case you didn't know she was a villain already. Oh no. Is this the scene?
Yeah, it is.
Ah.
Come here, brat.
Man, talk about deranged right now.
Yeah, the intonation and the coaxing.
Like, if it wasn't already an obvious sex reference, like, this feels like a pretty good fucking... Is allegory the right word for fucking abusive relationships?
Yeah.
Ugh.
That face, though.
The way she fucking forcefully took the hand.
Yeah.
Ugh. How's this gonna get resolved in 2 minutes? It's my question.
You'll find out.
Man, I am not a fan of that design.
You're not meant to be.
I see. So Lapis has more control than she let on.
Yeah, she's got more control over the water side, at least. It seems like Jasper's got the physical side and Lapis has got the water side.
That is, if anything, a heroic self-sacrifice and a half.
Absolutely. It takes a long time for that to get undone.
Huh.
What a fucking...
I didn't realise that was his ringtone. I just thought it was a weird noise. Well, is that the credits now? Is that going to be?
Yep, Star wipes onto his onto his black eye.
That was an intense episode.
Yeah, it was. There's no post credits either, so it's pretty much done there. You can listen to the ending credits if you like, but
I'm gonna listen to them out of spite. Also, I need to know when to stop start cutting. There's the Cartoon Network logo, which is adorable.
It's one of those that the resolution was kind of an ass pull, but also very nicely telegraphed. I thought that it's Lapis is cementing the heel face turn, even though she wasn't really a heel to begin with. She was already neutral, so she's basically she's going from grey to white morality at this point.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like I get it because they couldn't have Jasper get killed off, but it would have been more satisfying if it was a definitive finish, as it were, and it would have been all the more satisfying if Garnet finished the job, you know. But I understand where the story goes, so it makes sense. So I'm not shitting on it by any means. It's just I was coming at it from a wrestling point of view because there was a bit of a fist fight in the middle there.
Yeah, there was.
And nobody likes a screwy finish.
But yeah, overall, I thought it was a very good ending to the season. Sorry, not to the entire series, just to the season. Although at the time it was the last bit of Steven Universe there was for like a year and a half.
I mean, I'll be absolutely honest with you. If Steven Universe didn't get renewed at the end of season 1 and that was the end, it wrapped up enough things to be wrapped up and done that you can enjoy that show still.
Yeah, like the things that are still mysteries are still good as keeping as mysteries. Like the whole Rose Quartz thing is kind of like something that's left in the past until it's resolved, and even then, it feels a bit like an ass pull, but also if you look back at everything through that lens, then it's very clear that it was written in that way.
Yeah. Again, I've got no issues with it. It's if it as standalone content, if I was writing those 2 episodes, I probably would have had Garnet be the ultimate winner and be standing triumphant and good triumphs over evil and all that shit. But they're not standalone episodes, so you got to remember to look at it outside that scope. But yeah, we come up with 2 different perspectives because in case you haven't watched the other Steven Universe reviews, I recommend you go do that. By the way, my experience is I've watched quite a fair amount of Steven Universe. I don't think I've watched anything from season 5, but it's all been spattering sporadic episodes that I used to catch on TV back when I was in fucking... Feels like I was in college, but it can't have been that early, could it? How old is this show?
I think it's like 2010, 12.
Yeah, dude, I was in college then.
Alright, okay.
Dude, I've only been working for 8 years.
Yeah.
Like, oh, jeez. Well, working properly, you know what I mean. But yeah, sorry, do you want to make a final point before we move on to moment and MVP?
I think I was going to say the only reason they couldn't have Garnet destroy Jasper's form is that she needed to have a physical form to be able to do the fusion.
Oh yeah, like I said, I get it. I'm just saying, if it was standalone and it didn't have to matter about the overarching story, which, by the way, if you're writing or animating shit, you got to give a shit about the overarching story, I'd have just had Garnet finish it there and then. But again, that's from the perspective of just these 2 episodes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that being said, Rick, out of the 2 episodes we just watched, what was your favourite moment?
My favourite moment was probably right at the end. Like, the song was cool and it gets memed on a lot, but I think the bit where Lapis cemented her control over the fusion. Malachite, that's the one. They call it Malachite. Yeah, the part where Lapis just asserts control and just drags it into the ocean. We'll stay on this wretched planet together. That's like it's righteous anger, and it was so cathartic for me. As cool as the song was, and as lovely as the fusion moment was, they're both second banana to the catharsis.
I get where you're coming from, but the moment is very bittersweet because all I can think of is, yeah, Jasper's dealt with for now, but Lapis is forced into being locked into that form for who knows how long. You said it's a while until it gets resolved, so you know.
Yeah, it's a while and a half. But how about you? What's your favourite moment?
See, I was also very tempted to go with Stronger Than You because that was fucking cool, and I wasn't expecting it, and I'm glad we saw it. However, I think my favourite moment is actually the reunion with Ruby and Sapphire, where Ruby's like, Sapphire's like, "Are you okay?" And Ruby's just like, "That doesn't matter." And they're crying and they're happy and they're hugging. And then we got Happy Garnet as well, which we don't see often enough.
Yeah, we definitely don't see it often enough. I think the last time you see it is when Stevonnie pops up.
Oh, yeah. I'm vaguely aware of that. Have you seen the meme image of Johnny Bravo waking up in the morning next to Stephen and Connie because he pulled Stephanie in the bar last night, and the implication is they spent the night, and he wakes up and he's just sweating and he's like, "What the fuck?"
He's like, "Oh, mama."
Oh, dude, would that not be the fucking worst thing in the world that could happen to you?
Oh, no.
Moving on before we go into really territory. Rick, out of the 2 episodes we just watched, MVP.
I would say it's the animation team for doing exactly the thing that I discussed during the episode, reanimating the entire second episode because of the voice actor for Ruby, her expressiveness and facial expressions while she was recording, and just, how animated the rest of her body was. They just went and reanimated Ruby just to match what the voice actor did, and I think that deserves the MVP award for this episode.
I can't really argue with your logic. Like, I don't think people can stress enough that reanimating an entire episode of Steven Universe, now let's bear in mind that episode in particular was about 11 minutes long, give or take. That amount of animation is not fucking quick.
I was going to say, even though Ruby's only in for the first half of the episode, it's still a lot to do.
Well, I know some, granted they're amateur and they work alone, but I know some amateur animators who take a week to animate 5 seconds.
Yeah.
If people want to perfect their craft and do the perfect thing, it takes fucking time. People have standards.
But yeah, that's my MVP. What's your MVP?
As much as I'd like to give it to Jasper, just because I love that sort of design, I have to give it to Garnet. I think she really shone in the episodes. Well, more so the second one, of course. It's a real bummer, isn't it? Because most of this stuff we're talking about is in the second episode. But you got to remember, the first episode was needed to set up the second one. So
yeah, and she's the only one out of the 3 gems that could actually convince Steven to leave with his dad.
Yeah, and the only one willing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. That fucking fight scene was awesome, and that song is cool. I'm glad I finally heard it in its original form, because I always knew it was a parody of something, I just didn't know where from.
You don't get to see gem on gem combat very often. It's normally like gem on monster when you see it, or some kind of bullshit, like when Peridot fights, she uses her metal powers that she comes into contact with. Doesn't actually punch anything or anything, it's just like impales something with a pipe.
But that's kind of cool in its own way. But yeah, those are our awards. Yeah, there's nothing really else to discuss. If you've made it to the end of the episode, guys, we are thankful as always.
You are our favourite people.
If you're watching on YouTube, please leave us a comment if you've got any questions or anything you want to add. Like, who's your MVP? What's your moment of the episodes we watched? We do want to hear from you. And if you don't watch on YouTube, you can send us an email, and that email address is nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. Once again, that is nonsensereview@gmail.com. So you can send us any questions or comments, and if they're good enough, we might read them out at the end of the next episode. Haven't received any yet, and we probably won't for a while, but hey ho diddly do. Right, I think that's all the mumbo jumbo we wanted to get out of the way. So without further ado, goodbye.
Bye.